Welcome. Today's webinar is about AI for IP workflows. We will discuss how AI can help you gain time and quality. More specifically, we will explore how this can be achieved through the integration of two solutions, Equinox and Qthena. My name is Arnaud Gasnier. I'm subject matter expert for Qthena in the EMEA region. I'm a European patent attorney for 30 years, and I worked for the industry and research organizations. My roles included patent prosecution, licensing, and portfolio management. And today I'm here with Sabine.
Thank you, Arnaud. Yes, hello to everyone who's joined us today. My name is Sabine, and I'm a subject matter or product expert for Equinox, our IP management system. I've worked in IP for about 18 years in various roles, from annuities to search tools, as well as having worked in an IP department as a patent expert for about 8 years. Thank you. So, Equinox in a nutshell, in today's context, it's all about the integrations and connections with other tools and services in the Questel family. So from a connected workflow covering the ideation process for both patents and trademarks, to connecting our IP services for annuities, EP validations, and more, to utilizing data through 𝗤𝗏𝗰𝗹 and 𝗏𝗏𝗰𝗋𝗋, to connecting with Qthena, which is what I will be talking about a little more later in the session. So Equinox is kind of the command center. Next, please.
About Qthena. So Qthena is a workspace with an AI assistant which is included. The workspace part provides you with a secured environment for handling documents. This is that part. And then you have the AI part, which can assist you with analysis, drafting, and prosecution. Qthena reads the full documents, text, claims, drawings, without relying on external sources. It ensures confidentiality, reduces hallucinations, and is optimized with all types of IP work. Now we have a little poll for you. Thank you for this information. Now, when we are going to talk about Qthena, Qthena can assist you with any stages in the IP lifecycle, with creation, with searching, preparation, prosecution, and management. When it comes to patents, Qthena can help you with invention disclosures, patentability assessment, also the preparation of the patent applications, as well as response to an office action. That's what we are going to see today, and opposition, freedom to operate, for instance. When it comes to trademarks, Qthena can help you with the drafting of goods and services, but also all substantive work which comes into play. In all these workflows, Qthena can help you increase both productivity and quality. Now we have a second poll for you, so then we can understand better where you will see the best benefit of Qthena and AI in general in today's practice. Let's now take the real case to see how Qthena and Equinox can work together. Now, when it comes to this real case, we're going to use today an example from Nintendo. It's an actual case. It's this EP number 2442211. This relates to a video game, as you can see in figure 1 on the left. And then with that inventions, you have also a stylus. It's a pen, which is going to interact with that video game. And the invention is about keeping it into the video game. So for this invention, you have a fixation device with different embodiments, and you have one which is a U shape and another one which is different layers. Now, if we have a look to the timeline of that case, it relates to an application which was filed in 2011. Here you can see claim 1 of that invention with different features highlighted around that stylus, that pen, which is the object of claim 1. One of the features being an elastic material. The search report has been issued a few months later, and the examiners cited 5 different prior arts. We would like to review these objections, and we are going to use Qthena to analyze those documents, these 5 prior arts, but also the application as filed and the search opinion. And we're going to assume we are just before the publication time, and we're going to upload all those documents in Equinox. So then we can get all that ready for further analysis later on.
Thank you, Arnaud. So yeah, as I've mentioned a couple of slides back, let's look a little more at the connection between Qthena and Equinox now. So from within, you can start in any case in Equinox with the preparation of a template or document you may then later want to use in Qthena. You can simply select a template, start preparing, for example, a response to the PTO, and then using our plugin, you can simply save your template into the document section, ready to be later used in Qthena. Next, please, Arnaud. So here in your document section in Equinox, there is a link connecting the two tools. So it's a simple button to hit for you to launch a new project or to reopen a previously created one, as I said, via the click of a button. And then the nice thing here is the document section does not need to contain any documents, but of course, any documents contained can be brought into Qthena at a later stage, which we will look at later. Next, please, Arnaud. So here we are in Qthena. So once the project was created or reopened, you have the option to upload documents from Equinox into Qthena in the project content manager, which is opened here on the right-hand side. Next, please. So here the system will automatically link your Equinox case, or you can, of course, manually select a different case. Equinox will then suggest any documents stored in your document section for the upload. So, for example, upload the templates you may have prepared earlier. Next, please. And then you can see here in your project content manager, again, within the content, that the documents will then be available for you for further analysis and use in Qthena. All of this preparation work could be done, of course, by a paralegal or assistant, allowing the attorney or patent professional to concentrate on, for example, the drafting or prosecution work within Qthena. Thanks.
All right. Once you have created a project in Qthena and different documents have been uploaded, for instance, from Equinox, as we just saw, you can create sessions in Qthena. So what is a session? A session is going to be a skill which you have selected, and here you can see EP skill or patent drafting or FTO analysis, for instance. And it's also about the selection of one or more documents you need for this activity, and that is done here with a context list. So what is behind that skill? What we have here is actually prompt, which has been prepared by attorneys, and this is embedded in the Qthena itself. This is in the SaaS solutions of Qthena. It tells exactly the task, meaning the EP examination or the drafting, as you would teach it to a junior. Next, the context list here is asking the LLM to review the full text, to read it with its visual capacity, like you would read this text with your own eyes. It doesn't use the internet, and that minimizes hallucinations. This approach, the pre-prompt with the skills and the context window with a powerful LLM, is the approach which is going to give you the best performance today. And with the development of the LLMs in the future, it will also give you the best performance in the future. Now here you can see how Qthena will summarize the objections from the examiner. So you enter a user prompt, and then you will get here the summary of those objections. It gives you also a quick assessment of those objections, whether it's weak or strong, with the possibility to find potential counter arguments or the need to amend the claims. This approach is saving a lot of time when you review these documents, the search report, the prior art, the patent application. And it will save even more time when you need to go deeper, because Qthena can help you map the features of the claims. So here we go back to the claims as we've seen initially. For instance, we have the stylus, which is the object, and the different features, one being this elastic material. It will map the claims features with the prior art. So here, for instance, D1, and it will identify the feature which might be differentiating. So giving maybe novelty over D1 with a reasoning, a counter argument to go against the objection of the examiner. So here, Qthena will provide us with a counter argument. In page 7, line 5 to 11, we can find that counter argument. Now, with Qthena, you can also source this information, you can highlight it, and you can go directly in the document, and Qthena will bring you in a sec to that page 7, line 5 to 11. So this is how you can save time, but you remain in control. You can check every single step and making sure that the arguments provided in Qthena responses are actually true. And this is one of the reasons why Qthena is unique, because you have the workspace with all the documents which are relevant for your analysis, and side by side, you will have the assistant with the response. The assistant will provide you with the arguments, the references, and at the same time, you can check it in the documents in the original source with your own eyes. This is really what we call the human in the loop approach. It gives you full control. This is not a one-click button. You need to interact and you go along the way. That's how you can get quality, but at the same time, of course, saving a lot of time. On the top of that, when you have that document here, you can annotate, you can highlight, you can comment this initial document which we got from Equinox.
Yes, and like Arnaud already said, any annotations or content, any changes made to your documents or templates as well, they can now be synced back into Equinox via the click of a button. And from there, you can process them further. So, you know, the draft you've created earlier, your response to the PTO, your client, you know, this document can be, you know, you draft it within Qthena, you save it back, you sync it back into Equinox, and from there you can process it as usual using, you know, the email out functionality, for example, and so forth.
Thank you, Sabine. So next, if you don't find counter arguments in those documents, if there is no way to go against those objections, you will need to amend the claims. And Qthena can provide you with different strategies to do these claim amendments. We will have the similar approach when we are doing patent drafting to figure out different types of protection we can draft around the invention. But here it's about claim amendments. And the first one here is suggesting that maybe we can limit the elastic material to the memory foam, and is going also to provide the amendments for the claim one in regards to that change. Different strategies could be provided. That's going to be also for a multi-layer embodiment, which we saw at the beginning, and other types of strategies. So that those different strategies correspond to different sets of amended claims, which are possible in the pursuance of the case. Now let's focus, for instance, on strategy 2. It provides much more detail than just the title. Obviously, it will provide you with a claim amendments with the edits. This is required to provide that to the EPO in that case. So we will have all the deletion with the strike through and the additions with the bold characters. It's also providing the support in the original document, as well as the arguments regarding patentability in terms of novelty and inventive step. Now, for all of that, you can source. You can source, for instance, that paragraph to make sure that indeed the fixing device introducing this feature is mentioned on that specific paragraph. You just highlight it, and in a second, you will be directed in that document on that specific paragraph. You can also check the arguments for novelty, and for inventive step, it's going to be the problem solution approach, which is selected. This is a quick way to have different amendments prepared for you, for the attorney, and the attorney will still need to review, obviously, all this information. Human in the loop, the final responsibility lies with the attorney. But Qthena can do the next step. It can also generate the formal response, the final deliverable. This is not obtained in one click. This is not a one-click solution. We need to interact. We need to understand the documents to make sure we have a good alignment with the understanding of the assistant. So then together that you would do that the same with a junior, you are moving in the same direction and to the right choice after you have consulted your client, your colleagues, your management on the right strategy to move forward. When that strategy is chosen, you can ask Qthena to prepare the full response, and as you can see, it will lay it out with the amendments, with the edits, and all the legal arguments with the references to the relevant articles. Here's to the EPC with clarity issues, with novelty objections, and inventive step as well. You can copy that response, and you can save it in a Word document within Qthena or locally. This draft is fully editable. Of course, it still needs to be reviewed by the attorney, but it saves a lot of time for the attorney to prepare and to arrive to that stage. And quality will be guaranteed throughout the way, as we have just seen with these different interactions. Now, you may wonder what has been the granted claim for this Nintendo case. And the Nintendo case has actually been granted for the strategy 2, which has been identified by Qthena. So there is many different criteria which are going to interact when you are making a final decision on moving forward on claim amendments or on the claim protections. But Qthena is there to provide you alternatives. And sometimes some of these options which have been designed and proposed by Qthena are not foreseen at the beginning. And you just add that up in your recommendation for your client or your management or your colleague, and it's an extra benefit along the way. Now, let's move to a final poll. Thank you. Now, let's summarize this webinar we have done today with a few takeaways before we are going to close. The first takeaway is about why to use generative AI for IP workflows. Well, at the end of the day, it's because it's bringing you gain of time, but also gain of quality. When you're thinking a solution like Qthena, you will gain quality because you are in control of the data which comes in. This is the data you have provided. You are an attorney, or you get the data directly from the register. So you have an access to the register from some parts of the prosecutions, and you can ensure by that to have quality data. Another reason why you will have quality is because of the pre-prompt which has been prepared, and this is embedded in the platform. It has been prepared by patent and trademark attorneys, and you can select this system prompt, these skills. The context window, which is the technology behind Qthena. This is a technology which tells the LLM to review the full text, including the drawings, and to have an understanding of the full extent of each single line, each single word, like you would do with your own eyes. This is not a summary. This is not what we call a RAG system. It doesn't go on the internet. It's not a lookup. It's a closed review of those documents, and you are using the visual capacity of the LLMs. And nowadays, with the LLMs, we have access to those. This capacity is very high, so you can review those drawings and the full text very carefully. Now, another reason why you will get quality is because you are involved throughout the way. As you've seen, it's not a one-click button. You are in the loop, and therefore you can check the data which comes in. You can check the review. You can check the assessment. You can check the strategies which are prepared, the counter arguments, and you can source all this information provided by the system directly in the documents initially selected. So this is the possibility you have, which is unique with Qthena, is to have this side by side, and you can check the content of the documents retrieved in Equinox and bring it back to Equinox when it is updated. And with the development of the LLMs, we have great performance today, but we'll have even better performance tomorrow. And the solution which has been selected, meaning the system, the pre-prompt, the context window, and the powerful LLM, with the development of the LLM in the future, that best performance will also be there tomorrow. Now, today we have focused on the response to an office action, and we have seen how Equinox and Qthena can work together in order to prepare and review and having the documents ready for submission. But we can also use this integration between Equinox and Qthena for invention disclosure. So when an invention is going to be declared by the inventor or someone in the R&D department or by your client, you can also use that interface in order to review the invention disclosure or generate it when the content is too little. You can also use the interaction for the assessment during the ID review. Sometimes we do have prior art, and we would like to get a patentability assessment in order to make the decision whether or not to protect. You can also select the possibility to have different strategies for claim protection, which type of categories, which type of language you may want to select. Of course, the full preparation of the patent application itself. And nowadays we can also generate drawings within Qthena, so all these documents can be prepared and move back to Equinox. If you are a proprietor of an EP and this has just been granted and opposition has been submitted against your European patent, you can also review the opposition thanks to Qthena and the prior art, which might be uploaded in Equinox. You can get it from there, and you can review all the grounds as the patent proprietor. If you would be doing a competition watch and being a potential opponent against a competitor European patent, you can also prepare your notice of opposition, and that's also something you can do thanks to Qthena. You can also do FTO assessment for some of us, especially those working in the industry. This is also a task which is time-consuming. Sometimes this activity is also asked by many different businesses, and we need to provide an answer in that matter. Portfolio reviews, whether it is for annual reviews and selecting whether the renewals need to be maintained or not, is also there. As well as checking alignment of the portfolio with maybe a new strategic direction, is also something where Qthena can assist you with.
So, in the final takeaway, well, after we've talked AI in Qthena and the AI in Qthena, we now want to also mention that AI will soon be coming or introduced to Equinox, starting with the introduction of an AI docketing agent that will read any email or PTL document and turn it into a ready-to-review action. So no more manual docketing, just a simple review and confirm. It will also analyze, summarize, and classify correspondence into, for example, filing receipt, office action, publication notice. So at a glance, you understand what type of document or action it is. Suggest the right presets to run and any ad hoc tasks to create based on this correspondence. Propose updating an existing case with newly extracted data or creating a new one, depending. And draft a clear professional reply as aligned to the case facts if a response is required. So there's some exciting stuff coming up in, well, towards the end of the year with regards to AI in Equinox, which will hopefully help you with your daily tasks and admin work in particular. Great.
I see we have some questions coming up, and thank you for that. We still have a minute or so, and I've seen one question, for instance, regarding non-patent literature and whether it can be uploaded and analyzed. Yes, we can upload it, and we can analyze it in Qthena. This is a possibility. We can actually also upload roadmaps. You may have a technology roadmap or a product roadmap, and you would like to map it against your portfolio, and that's also something you can do. Sabine, do you see I see more questions coming up?
Yeah, there's lots. So any we won't be able to answer today. We will of course get back to you after the webinar. But yes, just to pick one that just came in about, you know, Qthena and Equinox being two separate platforms. Yes, they are. I mean, you don't have to purchase two in order to work. I mean, they're standalone tools, but they are, as I've shown in this webinar, or we have shown in this webinar, they kind of connect to make your lives a little easier when it comes to working with documents. But yes, they are essentially two separate platforms, which also means, because that was another question, that there is a separate login, of course. Yes, I mean, you don't, you know, you can connect from Equinox to Qthena, but it's still a separate individual login there as well. Fantastic. Wow. On the yeah, we've just finished within the 30 minutes. So thank you everyone for, as I said, asking us these questions, and we will get back to you with some answers. And thank you very much for attending today's session. We hope you found it useful, and you will of course receive the recording and the presentation slides via email shortly. So thanks again, and have a great day. Thanks.